After buying over 100 vehicles on the salvage auction, I've learned to accept that these cars can come with a little bit of a catch, but nothing like this Audi R8 right here. This car by far is the biggest mystery I've ever run into. Well, buying a car sight unseen from the vehicle auction can be a massive risk of its own, but buying a flooded car sight unseen is taking a chance that not many people are willing to take. In the previous episode, I decided to risk my profits from selling my flooded BMW and putting them into this flooded Audi R8. And to be honest with you guys, I'm not sure if that was the best use of $34,000. I have way too many questions and way too many suspicious things that are just simply not adding up on this car. So hear me out. If you guys can help me in any shape or form by maybe commenting what you're thinking after seeing this video, that would be amazing. Before anything, we gotta hear the story. After calling about 7 different numbers and texting any kind of number associated to the previous owner's name and address, I was able to finally get in contact with what was his wife, and his wife actually transferred me to him. So I don't recommend anyone to do this, and I do kind of sound like a creep, and I apologize if you are watching this video. I didn't mean to do this, but I was very, very, very eager to find out what is wrong with this car, because this car in particular is not like one I've ever bought before. I've never seen 5,000 miles imported from Panama. Very, very confusing. But old owner turned out to be super legit. He told me a couple of things, that he traded this car for a lifted truck he has from some collector. And the car ran absolutely perfect. He also said that the car was at a storage in Fort Myers where the Hurricane Ian hit the most, and that when he came to the car, he couldn't unlock it, and nobody could. Basically, they just wrote it off as water flood and threw it on the auction. He did ask the insurance to buy the car back because he loved it so much, but the insurance said that this car would have a certificate of destruction. So he's like, okay, I don't want to buy it back if it has a certificate of destruction. And he actually told me that they were telling him to buy it back for like $13,000. I'm not sure if I was supposed to disclose that, but that blew me away. And he also did tell me that they paid him out an absolute hefty amount for this car, a lot more than I ever thought this car would be worth. But I'm pretty sure that's because of the mileage. But it makes me question, does this car really have 5,600 miles? I'm not sure. I want you guys to take a look with me and give me your opinion. There's a couple of comments that said to look at the tires, to look at different things in the car, and we're gonna look at all of them together, and you guys let me know. On top of that, he sent out 2 keys to the insurance. For some reason, Copar only had 1 key on the mirror. Where's the other key? I don't know. He actually called insurance, and insurance said that they have no idea where the key is. The car has been imported from Panama. There is paperwork, when you Google the VIN number, there's paperwork and documentation proving that it has been imported, which makes this entire rebuild process 10 times more complicated. In the last couple of months, he spent over $12,000 on this car, including a new battery, including an oil change, some gearbox stuff. I'll show you guys some receipts. But as you guys can tell in the dealer paperwork, it says that this car is not from here, so they can't really diagnose it to the full extent. He did also mention that he just put on H&R coilovers, and the story just keeps getting more and more crazier. So I want you guys to take a look at the condition of the car and let me know, does this thing actually have 5,600 miles? But before that, I wanted to introduce you guys to today's sponsor of the video, AG1 by Athletic Greens. AG1 is comprehensive nutrition made powerfully simple. And by powerfully, I mean it can probably replace your entire cabinet full of those vitamin bottles that you probably don't drink anymore. Unlike my Audi R8 that has over 75 computers that don't really work, AG1 is made up of 75 high-quality whole food source ingredients, including vitamins, minerals, superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens. Lucky for me, I'm no stranger to AG1, as I've been drinking this nutritional drink for quite some time. So when AG1 reached out, I was way beyond excited to be able to work with them. If you breathe air in 2023, then you're probably just like me. You're always busy, you're always on the go. Let me tell you guys a secret. There's no need to drink 7 cups of coffee a day. AG1 improved my energy levels to a point where I basically don't even drink coffee anymore. I only drink it because it's yummy. And most of the time I get decaf. Also, AG1 provides nutrients that support sustained physical and mental energy throughout the day. My favorite part is how effortless of a habit AG1 is. Just 1 scoop or 1 travel pack a day, 8 ounces of water every day, and that's it. Although we are 1 month late to make our New Year's resolution, it's still not too late to start. Unlike my Audi R8 here that doesn't want to start, you guys should. And AG1 is a great place to get your mind and health in a better shape. Tastes like pineapple. By using my link down below, you guys will get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 plus K2. And on top of that, 5 travel packets on your first purchase. So huge shout out to Athletic Greens for sponsoring this video. And now let's get back to the 5,000 mile Audi R8. We're gonna start out with one of many of my questions regarding this car. And the first one, and most important, is the mileage. So 5,600 miles, huh? You guys let me know, does this thing have 5,600 miles or is something funny going on? This definitely has been restitched. And as you guys can tell right here, they even missed the stitch holes. So whoever did this upholstery work, that's an obvious sign that this has been restitched. Things like this just kind of do not give me the vibe of a vehicle with only 5,000 miles. Take a look at all this. It's hard to say that this thing has 5,000 miles. You know, it might be one of those things that if you take it to like a professional detailer and he just conditions the entire car, it'll come back and look extremely clean. But right now, it does not look like it has 5,000 miles. One of the things though, the seats they're honestly in really good shape. But this could be simply just age. You know, a 13-year-old seat, not properly conditioned, not properly taken care of, could have crease and wear like this. So I'm not too concerned about the seat. My main concern is the motor and stuff like that. The interior is, we're just trying to figure out, does this car actually have the mileage that it says on Carfax? So look at this. Look at this. This has a built-in gun. No, I'm kidding, but look at that. It's on double tape. So it's some double tape. Not sure if that was an Audi flaw in their system and they just made a super crappy e-brake handle cover, but the suede roof looks really cool. It reminds me of my Huracan. The steering wheel is in great shape, so the steering wheel is in good condition. That's one of the things I saw in the Copart pictures because they took a picture through the window and I saw the steering wheel and I was like, okay, that's in good shape. So that might have low mileage. The next thing I want to look at is these tires. Somebody mentioned that, look at the tires, maybe they are from 2010. And according to Hankook, the website, you guys can tell that this is the 31st week of the 18th year. So these are 2018 tires. These are definitely not 2010 tires. On top of that, one of the things I wanted to look at was the brake pads. And I'm not sure what the life of these brake pads are supposed to look like, but let's take a look in there. They look pretty fresh. You guys see that? They look pretty fresh. And then this stuff over here, this just looks like this car was extremely dusty and then it rained and something just poured down right here. Looking at all the connections and looking at everything, it can't be that this car was flooded. There is no way. One of the riskiest things specifically with this car when I was buying it is that I knew that the electronics were down in the passenger footwell. So when I open this here, you guys can see that the fuse box is over here. If you guys know what a water damaged fuse box looks like, it looks absolutely horrible. Nothing here is blown. I've checked every fuse and every fuse is in perfect shape. But I also have the question of why was this fuse box open? Why couldn't they start the car? This fuse box was open in the auction pictures. So that's another thing that questions me. I have no idea. The stitching on this door is quite bad. And the condition of this door panel is not the best either. I wanted to highlight the condition of these headlights. These headlights are near brand new though. They have very minimal pitting on them. Very minimal. You guys can see it's a factory headlight, R8. Seem to be in near perfect condition. So after doing all the research on this car, I'm still very confused. But I can tell you guys one thing for 100% fact. This car is not a flood damage. If this car had any water inside, me out of all people, I would tell. At least I think so. Guys, the carpet is dry. The fuse box is dry. Everything is dry. The headlights are dry. The car is a low car, so any kind of water, you'd instantly tell. I looked underneath the car. It's all dry. It has no water there. So I'm 99.9% sure there's no water or any kind of signs of flooding on this vehicle in particular. I may be completely wrong and just not see the obvious, but from what I've seen, and I've looked at this car for quite some time, it seems to be a perfectly dry car. But questions like, why is the lock cylinder not working? How come it's not opening with a key? Is that something common on these cars? On top of that, it has an insurance seller. I do all my research prior to bidding on any car, so I make sure I have the least amount of risk. Even though cars like this are still really risky, sight unseen, flooded is probably the sketchiest thing you can get. But this car has never been played before. It's played once, but they didn't let it go because it didn't meet the reserve. The reserve was 32,000, which I wanted for 32,250. This thing sold the first time for 27,500. So they didn't let it go. The auction didn't retake the pictures, and the pictures that were on Copart were about 2-3 months ago. Well, that's everything I know up until now. Comment your thoughts and ideas and let me know what you guys are thinking. Was this a very well taken care of high mileage car, or a very bad taken care of low mileage car? Tomorrow morning my locksmith is coming, and apparently, according to his words, everything is good and we should be able to go ahead and turn the key and get this thing started. So up until then, I'll catch you guys later. Well guys, guess we just arrived. All right, we are putting everything back together. We got both ECUs here, and this ECU that looked like it had water damage was actually torn apart and made sure that it's not water damage and everything is perfect. So basically, from my conclusion is that water could be just pooling up over there from these vents, and it just made some rust spot on the ECU, which is nothing because those ECUs are completely waterproof. But we did get the data, the EEPROM data from both ECUs. We got the CS code and whatever we need to actually get the key programmed. And then from the cluster, we got the data as well for the immobilizer. So shortly, we will find out what this Audi R8 RS3 sounds like. Obviously, if it starts up. The big if is still here. As confident as I am in it starting up, I still don't know, nor have I heard it actually run or crank over or show any sign of life. So we will have to wait and see. Well, we were still unsuccessful in programming a key. By now, Victor, my locksmith, has came over 4 times, and each time for literally over 3 hours, so probably a total of 12 hours just wrenching on this stupid Audi R8. We've lost all hope. Literally, we called everybody we knew, every professional, and they all were confused why the key isn't getting married to the car. Victor was confident in his work. I can tell he knew what he was doing. This wasn't his first time. You know, this is not that complicated of a car to make a key. We had all the ECUs checked. We literally confirmed that all the computers were good and fully functioning. The OBD scanner was picking up the modules and reading them. Everything looked good until we noticed this. The scannings are inconsistent. One time it shows that it finds the immobilizer system, the next time it shows it doesn't find the immobilizer system. Engine control modules, one time it finds it, next time it doesn't find it. And it's kind of like intermittent. It's weird because it finds it half the time and half the time it doesn't find it. Like right now, look, immobilizer, no response. And then last time it just found it. So I just realized that none of this stuff or the key programming issue is not the locksmith's fault. It's something with the car. And this is kind of escalating to become a way bigger problem than we originally anticipated, but it seems like we have a bad ground or a bad wire or a bad gateway system, which is this right here. I've looked at the part number. This is not the original part number on this gateway, and the receipts that the previous owner sent me, it says that the gateway was bad. So I'm not sure what's going on. On top of that, we actually looked if the BCM was flooded, and it's not. So I'm not sure. This is kind of making me think that the car was maybe actually flooded. Oh man, I don't even know what to do now. At this point, I've came to a conclusion that it's not the locksmith's fault, and I apologize to my locksmith for calling him out 4 times. He's been here trying to help me out for about 3-4 hours each time, and literally every single person is absolutely confused what's going on. But I think this car might have been in some water, so we will have to actually tear it apart and get to the bottom of it. I'm very unfortunate that my R8 RS3 doesn't start, but I'm sure that we'll get it running. For some reason, I'm still feeling very confident that this motor is not flooded. Nothing here shows that it's flooded, but I apologize to leave you guys on a bad note. I'm gonna leave you guys off right here. If you guys enjoyed the episode, smash that like button. If you guys are enjoying the content, smash that subscribe button. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, BYBTim. Peace out. I love you all.